Boom. Oh my gosh, look at that. It looks so good. This is my new camera. I got a new camera, guys, so I can actually do this now. Or if I can zoom in while... Oh, look at that. I can zoom in while we're working. Oh, cool. Very freaking cool. Finally. What's up, guys? It's Thursday. It's Crewmaru Thursday. You can see because if you look down that way over there, it says it. I got my freaking awesome, look at this Lay McNasty shirt. It says, "Why are you up?" And it shows him falling. I love it. If you're not following that guy, he's fantastic and hilarious. Got a lot to catch up on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into it. Got some fairly common breaks here, pretty popular breaks. These happen often. You can see here we got the Mafex comic Spider-Man, which usually these don't break as easy, at least at the wrist. I've seen a lot of the knee joints break on these, but yeah, even these guys can lose a wrist. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and heat this up just to pop this out. This might be one of the last ones I do because basically what we're going to do is we're just going to make a new half for this. I keep wondering why my Mac camera is so foggy. I think it's been like that since I got it. Look at this camera on the right here, man. The camera on the right, I just got. It's like a $50 camera. This thing's awesome. I need to heat this up a little more. I haven't been using the heat gun, so we got to heat her up. Get her going. Get the car started. Gotta heat up this wrist so we can make this thing pop out. There we go. Looking good. What's up, soul brother? Oh, look at that. Look what you did. That's your work that I'm using to promote my work. So for you guys that don't know, if you see his name in the chat there, the soul brother made this amazing art of yours truly doing magic tricks and fixing figures. Look at that. He's even got the right freaking rings on. It's amazing. Very, very cool. All right, we're gonna go ahead and what you want to do. One of the first things you do whenever you do heat up the wrist to pop it out is I take my end clippers here and I like to. This is how I break apart all of these. Generally, I like to find the spot that's gonna pop apart, which usually has the hole in it, meaning like the half that has the hole in it, and I like to keep that on the bottom, so to speak, basically going towards the end clippers here, and you want to carefully kind of just clip at them, and you can see how easy that popped off right there. So really, there's not really a big trick to this thing here. All it is I kind of got lucky back in the day, and I have a ton of old joints really that I use. Sometimes I was really lucking out there for a while because I had a lot of old Marvel Legends figures, these old the old Iron Man figures, and the wrists on these guys were awesome, like for this particular repair. But unfortunately, I ran out because I repaired so many. It was crazy. I had a lot of these things and ended up having to do that. But basically what I do is I find a joint that is close to the same color. Sometimes you don't find the right color, which means you got to just keep looking. I can't stand it if it's not the right color. But so yeah, so what we have here is like an older, this is kind of like an old Revo joint. And let's see if we can't, I love this feature on this little camera. Let's see if we can get it to work. Like I said, this is a cheaper camera, and most of the time this thing will work. You can see it trying to work. It's trying so hard. Zoom in, fool. Of course, zoomed in a minute ago. I actually bought it because it had a zoom, and now it won't zoom. Why? I think you just got to find the sweet spot. So here you go. It's like an old Revo joint, and you can see that it's a little bit brighter than this current one, but it'll do the trick, and it'll look good, and it'll also function. Very important. What we got here? I'm just going to double check to make sure that we got enough room, which I think we will. The funny trick to this is you want these to like make a complete, circle by the end, sphere, essentially. So what we need is a razor blade for these, because on the bottom of this Revo joint that we're working with today, and now this may be different. Sometimes, like a lot of Figma joints are really good too. Those are a pretty nice PVC plastic. You'll see right here that there's just a chunk. Oh, how close can I get to this camera? Not too close. It's only got one focal length, but man, $50. This is pretty good. So yeah, there's a chunk right here that we're going to take away. We're going to use our razor blade here, and we're going to do this. So I'm going to cut. And if anybody's using this or trying to do this at home, please be careful using a razor blade. It's honestly not the wisest thing to cut towards yourself, as I'm doing. You can see I'm coming right towards my thumb. It's usually safer to put it on the table, cut it. I've been doing this a long time. Doesn't mean I won't cut myself ever again, but I do know what I'm doing here, and my fingers are pretty calloused up. You can see that, pretty calloused up. That probably triggered some people. Sorry about that. Let's check the chat real fast before we continue. My man Samurai Chris is here. What's up? Brian Pena, thank you for showing up, guys. I know it's weird to be doing this on a Thursday. I think I originally started on a Thursday. Maybe it was Tuesday. Yeah, because I was right before Wade. Brian asked, are you going to buy the SHFiguarts Toby or Andrew? It got leaked. Yep. Seems like a safe bet to buy those. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like a smart thing to do. But yeah. Currently, right now, I got a few pre-orders coming through as well. Dude, if you guys are near a GameStop and you've been eyeing some clearance items, but you haven't quite picked them up yet, I went to one today, spent about $55, and came home with like 8 Legends, including a MODOK and a McFarlane figure, a Saint Seiya figure, like arcade, like all these crazy figures, and it's like super, super cheap. It's pretty awesome. There's a 50% off all clearance at GameStops through July. So if there's some stuff there you've been eyeing, there's some things that you want for like customs or whatever. There's some good stuff and cheap. So just in case you didn't know, get out there and grab those deals, man, because some of that stuff's pretty awesome. You never know what you're gonna find. What's up, Clayton? Thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and I guess we'll go ahead and start with this Spidey. Let's do it. Now this one usually takes a little longer, so hopefully we'll be able to knock this out. Let me get comfortable here because this takes a little bit. I'm actually gonna let's go put the old hair up just in case, because like I said, this is gonna be a Dremel heavy stream here at the beginning. And I hope I can get to that Anakin. The Anakin's going to be tough. He's got a broken hip, and broken SHFiguarts hips suck. It's not as simple as just swapping it out with this, like I'm doing here with the Spidey. I mean, if you were lucky to have a point that was the same, that would be great. But, here we go. All right. So the first thing we want to do with this is we're going to start shaping it up. And I've got this guy right here. I think this sanding bit's going to work. So like I said, guys, this is probably going to be a pretty noisy stream. So I hope you're ready for that. What we want to do is we want to match the size of this hole here with this hole. And this one right here now is smaller, which is great. what you can do in order to do that as well is you can take a smaller drill bit like so and just kind of start weaving that around there. Just kind of be careful as you're doing that. Like I said, this is decent plastic. You know, when you want it to bend to your will, it will. And it can be pretty tough. Especially this is like an older Revo joint as well. So it's got like kind of an interesting interior. It's got like little pieces, little chunks right here. So you kind of got to be careful as to how big you're making this hole or where you're drilling, because you don't want it to, you know, come off of there and hit one of these little grooves and it mess up your circle that you're trying to do. Now, another thing that you do want to do is you kind of want to drill the circle a little closer, or the hole, excuse me, probably a little closer to the edge here, because you can see that this one is much, much larger. So we kind of want that hole to be right around here to the left. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of drill a little closer over here. And why we're doing that is so we can place that in, and we'll have plenty of room to make our peg for our wrist, which is really, really small when it comes down to it. That's why these things break so easily. And if you're not familiar with this figure, there's your peg. This is your wrist peg right here. And I can feel just how like tight this kind of is right here, so we have to be careful with that. The crazy thing is there's no real head, there's no tip on here, so these things breaking is pretty crazy. Usually this one, like I said, this one's a lot better. I'm surprised this one broke. Usually I see the knees breaking on the comic versions. I see the wrist breaking more often on the regular first release of that Spider-Man. But here we are. So again, let's go ahead and I'm gonna try to up the speed on this drill. I'm using a drill bit because this is just how I work. So I'm gonna try to take this hole a little further south here, closer to the peg, so we can try to start fitting that guy in. Now, since it is such a thin joint, you might be able to get away with doing this in the center, but I'm not sure. I'd rather go with my gut. Go. Let's see if we can. We're probably another thing here. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and trim some of the edge away as well. If we start trimming some of that edge away, it'll give us a better idea as to how this thing's fitting. And what we're doing here is basically just making this shape the same shape but smaller. So usually what that entails is you have to drill away some of the top here, the top layer, and then some of this outer layer. And you just basically keep doing this until you get to the desired size you want. You just got to be careful, because sometimes I've spent a good hour on one of these and then all of a sudden I've gone too far and I have to redo it, which really sucks. They said we want to shave off the top. You don't want to shave any of the flat bottom off, because we want as much of that real estate down there as possible. There we go. Getting a little closer. You don't want to get too close to this hole. I guess you're going to have to get kind of close, but not just yet. You want to leave yourself some wiggle room. Also, for any of you out there who really love hand cramps, this is a really great way to initiate those. It's fantastic. Trying to hold on to a piece, as you can see, that is this tiny. This is like, what are we working with here? 1/4 of an inch, right about here. It's a lot. It's very fun. Let me check the chat real quick, guys, while we're here. Got a... Oh, man. Let's see what we're doing here. Owen Herman's in here. Right on, Owen. Thank you for showing up, man. You're definitely a valued member of Crewmaru, man. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. He says, have to check out after I get charged for Mafex Strange and the Spidey re-release. Man, yeah, stuff's coming. It's getting crazy, guys. Like, the pre-orders are starting to come down. I've noticed July's like that month for them to kind of start getting back on track. So watch your wallets. And then we got SDCC right around the corner too, which I haven't seen too much crazy stuff there that I want. I've seen one thing that I want, maybe two, but we'll see. Oh, my man Captain McKay's here. He says, today isn't Monday. Dude, I had bad technical difficulties on Monday, so I had to cancel the stream, which really, really sucked. I was pretty hyped for it. But I bought this new camera, which I talked about in the group that we got. And, man, this thing is wonderful. I love this thing. Like I said, it was $50. Looks great. It's got its own light on it. Like, you can... I don't know if I can actually... Can I do it while it's on? Yeah, look at that. And then nothing. Bright, bright, super bright. Like, super cool. And I think you can adjust the brightness from the remote after that, too. It's more of a digital brightness, but still, this is really cool. It's got a ring light on it, and I think this thing just works really good. You guys can let me know how that looks, but you look like Zeus, but in the good shape version. Thanks for sharing. Thanks. No, I think you're about right the first time. Probably about just a little Zeus, little belly Zeus. Thanks, Clanable. Appreciate it. I don't recognize your name, so thank you for being in here. That's awesome. If you're a new viewer, awesome. Thanks for the compliment. Appreciate that. Tom Colmer is in here, says, have you ever repaired old Joyride Halo figures? Thanks to your videos, I was able to fix a bunch of them. I don't believe I have, but awesome. And if you're on Instagram, dude, tag me. I'd love to see your work, man. I love it when people tag me in that stuff. It's like, hey, you know, look what I've done. I've channeled my inner Toycanic, and boy, that makes me feel good. That's really, really cool. Michael Mahoney's here. He's like, what's up? Hope you and the wife and the doggos are doing great tonight. Can't wait for some amazingness tonight. I look forward to it as well. Feeling pretty refreshed today. I don't know, man. It feels like this is a good day for a stream. Good day for a stream. And then Samurai Chris says, glad you made time for Crewmaru, Bill. Thumbs up. Of course. Absolutely, guys. I felt crappy on Monday that I couldn't do it. I was sitting here just like, well, what do I do? Like, I didn't want to. I told the guy too. I was like, hey man, I can repair your stuff tonight. I can't do it live now because I don't have the equipment to do it. And he's like, nah, man, you can wait. Whatever day works for you. And I was like, no, whatever day works for you. You let me know. Does Thursday work? Because I didn't want to, like, I know Dave Wonder, he actually, he streams Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I was like, dang, I don't want to step on those. And on Mondays, I don't know if he's changed. I need to talk to him about that. I saw that he was starting at 8, usually starts at 9. So I go from 7 to 9 on Mondays usually. So if he's going to change that, then I might need to figure out something. Also, guys, for those of you that want to or are excited or just want to get more Toycanic greatness, the Patreon is this close to being done. I got a lot of cool things that I'm wanting to plan on there. It's not as much. I don't know. It's not as much. I can't give back on there as much as I want to, I think. But I think it's going to go well. I will have 3 tiers, just as an example. And it's up to you guys. If you guys want to be part of that, that'd be cool. You're still going to be getting these streams here. We'll still be doing these streams. We'll still be doing tutorials whenever I can. I know I said I should have done one. Actually, a bunch of them. But, man, YouTube's been so not nice lately. Man, I got flagged for 2 videos for using what I thought was royalty-free music, and I guess somebody disagrees now for some reason. It really sucks. But, so anyways, that's whatever. It's not really about the money, but it is nice to be able to get new equipment, and that's what I was doing all the YouTube stuff for, is to give you guys like all the, all this information. And so with the Patreon coming out, I think there's going to be a way for us to really, it'll allow me to connect with the people that really want to connect with the Toycanic area. I'll be able to do a lot of stuff that I think I'm limited to here. And then we can start tooling things specifically to y'all's likes, which I think would be really, really cool to do. But with all that said, you guys came here to see some toys get fixed, so let's fix some toys. Like I said, be on the lookout. It should be very soon. Just want to make sure I got everything in order. Got a lot of fun ideas coming down the pipeline. I'm Russell Crowe's son. That's right. Marcus Aurelius Juniorus. Marcus. Marucus? I don't know if that's a good name or not. Aurelius. Hey! I think the light went off on here. I wonder if it's got like a timer on it. This is the first time I've got to use this mic for the stream though, so we'll see, or this camera for the stream, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's good. What's up, Esteban? Alright, so we're gonna see here. We're getting closer. What you want to do... Oh, please tell me I did not just throw that like an idiot. Okay, we know it's up here. There you are, you little jerk. Okay. So luckily we do have the broken piece here as well. We can use this as our guide. This is way too big right now, which is okay. I don't mind it being bigger around the edges, because what we do is if we can get this to fit here and swivel correctly, then we can actually sand this down while it's connected, which is really, really nice. What's up, Gamma Goober? I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a little more Dremel. From this side as well. So this is where you hit it with the secret sauce. Check this out. So this is the big deal right here that really makes this work. So the trick to these guys is there's a little bit of a lip on the end here. So when you press it through to the other side, this keeps it from popping out, keeps it tight. So how do you do that, right? Because right now we're just drilling a straight hole in here that's the same, circumference all the way around. How do we change that? Well, I'll tell you. So you're going to want to have a rounded burr bit. I'm not sure the measurements on this one, but you can see that it's, I don't know. This is what we're looking at. What are we looking? Maybe about 1/8 of an inch wide. So what I do is I take these guys, right? I take this 1/8 of an inch wide Dremel burr bit, and I get where since we've been shaping it up, and we're gonna do this. Watch this. We're not gonna Dremel all the way through. You don't want to go all the way through. So then we're going to Dremel a little bit. you can feel it right there at the end. So what that does is basically put this, just sit there and heated this up. And what that does, it makes a little bowl basically on here. So we want to cut that off if there's any excess that popped up. And what that's going to do is it's going to make a bigger hole on the top and a smaller one that we're working with is our drill bit, right? So what this bigger hole on top is going to allow is for this to pop all the way through, catching that bigger hole and stay there. And we're almost there. I'm going to cut a little more of this off right here so that we're good. Here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and sand it down just a little bit on top. It's nice and even. This has got a cone tip on the end, so this is kind of convenient. I started using this not too long ago and I really like it. Okay, so let's see where we're at. I'll go ahead and clean this up a little bit more with the drill bit. This looks nice and flat still. That's why I said don't mess with this bottom part right here. We want to leave that alone because you want that to be as smooth as possible for whenever this does go in. Let's see what we got here. See if this is looking pretty good because you don't want this thing to get caught on the edge here. So let's see if it's big enough. It might, this whole night might need to be a little bit bigger. Let's see what we got. I'm trying to make sure I don't want to press this down, close it if it's gonna be if the end, basically this end hook piece right here, if this part right here is too thick and you try to push that down in here, it could potentially end up breaking this peg off because the hole or the gap between the actual swivel and this peg that goes out isn't big enough. And it's looking pretty good. As long as one piece fits in there snugly without it breaking, then you can go in and we can actually shave it down while it's attached. And let's see if we can't do that. Sometimes you can do it with your fingers and sometimes not so much. I feel like it's always you know, you do this stuff live, so you really want it to just like look like you know what you're doing, but a lot of this, dude, is just eyeballing. And honestly, the last thing you want to do too is press that down and maybe crack the plastic. So let's go ahead and give it just a little extra. If it's too big, if the hole's too big, you can always add a little glue, you know. But if that cracks, it can still be fixed, but it'd be nicer to not have to deal with all that noise. I'll check the chat in just a second, guys. Give me just a second to shave this down. I'm hoping I can get to the rest of these figures tonight. These are pretty extensive repairs now that I think about it. The Superman shouldn't be as long, so we might try that one next. This is just one of my probably one of the most popular repairs I do is this. Got to be this freaking Spider-Man wrist. And I use these pliers here because they've got this awesome little round nook in there, which is really, really cool. And so you want to kind of hold on to it and be careful. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to snap anything, and you want to find that perfect little centrifuge here. Like, where's that center at? Let's go ahead and Dremel a little bit using the same technique we did a minute ago to make this hole bigger on top. I want to do that on the bottom, but not so much. Just enough to maybe get it started. Sometimes that'll help because this is basically like a mushroom head, essentially, just like your normal bicep. You know what I mean? From like a Marvel Legend or a lot of figures, you know, they have like that mushroom head deal. So let's go ahead and, gosh dang, getting a grip on these things is tough, just because they are so tiny, and you want to make sure that you're not breaking it or trying to. There it went. You don't want to push it down on this peg center right here and break it. It's the last thing you want to do. So it's really tough to try to find the center of gravity sometimes to try to... Gosh, it's just like flipping all over the sides. If we can get it on there, really helps. These are so hard to hold on to, man. I've been finding like my grip with these things is just like a nightmare. Let's see. Oh, man. I'm just a mess right now trying to do this. I'm lucky tonight, guys. I've dropped this thing like 3 times and I haven't like lost it. It hasn't hit the floor yet. God dang. If anybody's got any suggestions on how to keep this guy straight. Son of a gun. How many times do you think this thing will drop before we get it in there? Maybe I should try a different technique, huh? Let's go ahead and shave it down a little more. Basically what's happening right now is it's not getting a good hold, really. Okay, let's see what happens here. What's going on here in the crew? Oh, not a whole lot of chatter tonight. That's all right. I haven't got a chance to watch Ms. Marvel yet, which really sucks. I want to see that really bad. I've heard great things. I've heard it really shows you, like, gives you a good insight into the Muslim religion, which I think is really cool that they would focus on something like that because, you know, this is a cultural mixing pot what we have here, so it's cool to see some newer characters and just other characters in live action form. You know, representing more people than just white blonde men. Pretty neat. Danko said, what would you do if that Dremel died? They don't make that model anymore. Well, what I would do is use one of the 3 that I own. That's what I'd do. I have gotten so lucky with the people that I have met and in this community. They have supplied all 3 of these Dremels to me since my original baby broke. So sad. I hated that. It was really bad. It was a bad night. It was like it was like a war movie almost, like when that thing died. It was a really ugly scene in here. But yeah, big shout outs to those guys, man. Those guys are amazing. High School Creations, Anthony Martosio. You guys are awesome. Throw it into trash. With the smooth sales pitch. How do you do that? I'll tell you. What you need is one of these. I'll tell you. Yeah. So that's not going in just yet. I'm going to make sure that this part right here has got, like I said, more dremeled. You want to do this little concave piece right here. So when it does go through, it connects and it stays connected. Also think that I don't think the hole is wide enough just yet. Let's go off to the left here and see what happens. Kind of going around the edges here, making sure you want it to be as perfectly round as possible. Also, if there's any chance that you have any excess down below on the flat spot, you want to make sure that you cut any of that off, because if there's any kind of imperfections here on the bottom, when these go to connect, then you could, you'll have gaps and stuff like that, which generally you might have a gap in these joints, which I don't mind the gap as much as, it falling apart. So keep in mind, like, I'm making this basically from scratch at this point. So, oh, there we go. That was oh man. I wish I would have not been talking. That was a very satisfying click. You can see here that, look at this. Yeah. So we got it in. You can see where it's right here. It's right on the edge. But you can also see that this is kind of funky looking. I mean, we got a great start right now, But what we have to do now is start shaping this down to where it's the same size as this guy. Now, I was using this cone-shaped sanding bit here. We're going to swap over to the cylinder. This is my favorite. I like these two right here. This one looks like it's getting this is very smooth. That's kind of a worthless drill bit, really, if it's that smooth. I guess you could use that as a fine drill bit. I usually keep... I found this really cool set. There we go. At a Big Lots years ago. Pretty cool. It was $10, man, and it's got just a bunch of sanding bits in it, different sizes, and all this cool stuff. So let's use this. Oh, look at that. We got a brand new drill bit here. These are great. Or a sanding bit, excuse me. Let's go ahead and use this guy. Brand new. That's what's up. Okay, so make sure you're on a smaller or a lower speed. You don't want to get crazy here. And so what we're going to do is basically we're just going to shape this to fit and make this more spherical. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and just kind of shave here. Kind of always go in at an angle. You can use this edge here to kind of trim some of the topper bits right here. And like we're trying to keep it, like I said, keep it spherical. You want it to be rounded. You don't want it to be on like real flat on top, which that would still work, but it won't flesh out that cavity as much as you'd want it to. I'm going to start kind of bringing it in here on the front, a little smaller, a little thinner. Okay, that's looking good. What we're going to do is we're going to take our razor blade here. You can see, hopefully you can see, there's like some white excess here. See if I can zoom in. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. I don't even know if I'm zoomed in. Like, is that all the way? Let's see if it'll zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. No? Nothing? Bueller? Bueller? Okay, so this camera works really well. The remote, not so much. I wonder if there's a, if anybody knows of a better remote that could be using for this, because, man, I don't know if it's zoomed in all the way. I'm brand new to using this, so. There's also a mirror flip mode on this thing. Oh! Did you see that? We just zoomed out. Oh! I think I found the sweet spot. There it is. Okay, this is as close as we can zoom in. Let's try that one more time. Did I find it? Bop. Bop, bop. Okay, cool. Nice. Anyways, you can see, like, there's a lighter colored, like, loose plastic that sits on top of this guy right here. And we want to try to get all of that off if we can. Just because it's just dirty. You want it out of there. It's not as pretty. Plus, it can mess with your articulation if you're trying to. I mean, eventually, I imagine it would like work its way out, but you know, just in case. I like to keep it smooth. Not to mention any kind of excess plastic. Whenever you're dremeling, can catch your Dremel or, you know, throw stuff off like that. That's the last thing we want. We don't want a crazy Dremel. Okay, so before we start doing our peg here, I like to turn it. And when we turn it, you can see that this right here is a little oblong. So we want to go ahead and shave this down just like we did before. Stay at an angle. Always stay at an angle. Smooth it out. Kind of go around the edges here. Use the original shape as your guide too. Always turn it around, look at it, shave it from the bottom. We don't want to shave any of the original off, but if you nick it a few times, that's okay. Just so it's gonna fit flush. Let's go ahead and shave some of this off. Shave that. Shave this off. There we go. Pretty good. Looking pretty good. I love it. Okay. So now we're going to start making this into our wrist peg. And since we have this wrist peg here, we can just use this as our guide. It's obviously going to be smaller than this guy here. This is the piece that actually fits down in here. This is the piece that goes into the hand. So what we're going to do is, what I tend to do is I just start here and just kind of turn it like a rotisserie chicken, essentially. So we got to be careful that we don't take off too much from the top, though. We want to keep it pretty close, because since these are like these halves, you want to make sure that you're not cutting too much of the top part off. You want as much of a connection as you can get. So we're really going to try to work the bottom here as much as we can. Get that smaller. You can roll it around a few times. Generally, you can also use the edge of this sanding bit. Kind of do like so. Come in here. Kind of come in at each angle here. And basically, I'm just allowing that to guide with my finger. From there. Since it's already rounded, you don't have to worry about it not being rounded. Just kind of keep these sides even here. And it looks like we've got the right width on the sides here. We're getting close at least. There we go. We'll just continue to spin. And I found that doing this tends to cut the plastic a little faster, this back and forth motion, the sawing motion. All right, there we go. What's up, Warren? Thanks for showing up. Oh man, Gargoyle, you heard the click? Man, that's what's up, right? It's freaking awesome. I want to say hello to the master blacksmith and only dude I trust to fix my precious toys. Right on, Warren. That's awesome. That makes me feel awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, so here we are. We're going to get rid of some of this excess stuff here. And you can see just how long this process is and how tedious this process is. But it's worth it, because in the end, it's a solid repair, and it fixes your figure. And if you mess up on this thing, which it's possible to do, it's possible to get further than I am right now. There's a chance that I could break this, which let's pray that doesn't happen. Just learn from whatever you did and start over, because generally you know what you did. You knew if you needed to stop, earlier, or if you didn't, then you will learn. I promise you, you will learn. And then while that does suck, it is good experience. I feel like you learn more from your fails than you do from your successes, as a lot of times, they'll lead you to it. Oh, what we want to do here is make sure that our length is going to be right. And it looks like this guy needs about, sheesh, almost half of this taken off. So I don't like to shorten it like this because we're dealing with a pretty delicate piece no matter what. It's a thin piece of plastic. So I like to kind of come in at an angle and just slowly kind of make this piece that we're cutting off a little weaker. This doesn't put any like extra pressure, you know, on all the work we've done. It's just focusing on sawing this tiny little piece off here at the end. Carefully doing it. You can see that we're almost there. You can see too, like it's even as thin as we've got it now, which is crazy thin. And just on this spot right here, you can hopefully you can see that. Let's see if I'll put it right there. I don't know if it'll show up or not. This is incredibly thin right here. You can take your razor blade, set it on this side down, get it to where you were cutting it, and just cut that piece off. Now, we've got our right length, I think. You want to kind of go around here and also make sure that it's still rounded. We're nearing the home stretch. Alright. I think that's just about it. Like I said, make sure that this kind of goes down into a sphere here in the front as well. You want to kind of put a little slight dip in here if you really want it to like look as close to the original as possible. If you're fine with that little flat front, then go for it. But I like to make sure that this has a little slight dip right here before the peg starts, just because it, like I said, I think it adds a little of that professionalism. So what I want to do here is try to scrape some of this off. Now, generally when I'm done with these, you know, you can tell they've been dremeled, but also you're about to cover all this work up. So as long as it's not that obvious, I think you're set. You know, it's rounded. It's got a nice smooth finish to it. You do need to, like I said, the excess plastic I always like to try to get off as much as possible. Just because it's got that, you know, lighter color, that stressed plastic look, and we want to kind of get rid of that. See if we can't cut this little bit of excess off right there. There we go. A lot of times I just like to scrape like so. Let's go ahead and all right, let's test it out. What do you think? See what happens. Now, maybe a little too big. Now, that feels like a really snug fit, but I think it's a little too snug for my liking. That's why it broke in the first place. So let's go ahead and take out a little more. Thin it out just a little bit. And the trick to having a good, I'll tell you, hang on. The trick to doing a good Mafex wrist peg is keeping it all one width. You don't want it to like start small and get bigger, because these hands are meant for a straight peg. Now, that might work. You could try it, but the way I see it is the way these are built, if you were to do that, it's just going to warp your hands over time if you've got this, you know, wedge being shoved into this hole that you're not supposed to do that. So we'll see. Let's see if this fits. That's feeling pretty good right there as well. I think it might be a little too long, so we might have to shrink it down just a little bit. Hey, plunderlings are in the house! Guys, have you seen that Arctic drench? Oh my god, it's beautiful! If you guys haven't got that Entertainment Earth exclusive plunderling, the Arctic drench, oh my god, get him. He's a beautiful little plunder sickle. Wonderful looking figure. He looks like coconut water to me, like coconut milk. So I'm gonna call him. I think I'm gonna call him coconut. I'm gonna call him Coco. I love it. Warren Roar, Bill is the man. Thanks, man. Kyrus says, hello, Bill. Hello, Kyrus. I think I'm saying that right. Hope I'm saying that right. Anyone else get the Mafex Doctor Strange Infinity War version? Let me know if anyone had issues with the cape. Uh-oh. Oh, you can't. Wow, the Maru is better though. Sheesh. Let's calm down. I don't want to get. Look at this. I always got them. Check this out. I outfitted my Maru currently with this little. I actually found this on the street somewhere. I thought it was kind of cool. This little craftsman, a tiny little craftsman, like little crescent wrench. And then I put this on there for right now. He's got the Chucky good guy's hammer on there because Maru's a good guy, so he's got the good guy's hammer. And then the Lil Maru over here, he just wants to listen to some beats. He's got his little backpack on, ready to rock and roll. Just wonderful figures. Darth Gutierrez, this is called the Dremel Stylus. Unfortunately, this is discontinued, which really sucks. These are great. I have a few of these because of a wonderful community. Honestly, wonderful community, dude. Yeah, give me some beards and the long hair on little magnetic long hair on the. Oh man, don't get me started. Don't get me started, Rick. It's gonna get crazy. What did you think of Love and Thunder? Asked Neil Robinson. I loved it. I had a freaking blast. I thought it was silly, which was a very welcome change for Marvel films, man. I want something funny and ridiculous. Not everything has to be so freaking drab and sad. And it's enough, man. I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready to have a good time, and Taika Waititi brought a good time. They did my boy Korg justice. I won't spoil anything, but oh my gosh, I love that movie. It was very fun. I like Ragnarok better. I think Ragnarok balanced a lot of things better. And this in no way is a knock to the film, but I feel like this is gonna sound like I'm bashing it, and I am not. So, just saying, it felt like a little bit like Iron Man 2, how it was like that setup film, like for more. It's like, oh, we had to have this in between. So that's kind of disappointing, because what I would have really rather had from Love and Thunder is like a 6 episodes on Disney Plus. So I would have got 6 fat hours of all that awesome, and we would have been able to add more, because we only got 2 scenes with Meek. Come on. And then Valkyrie kind of took a back seat, so I was like, I wanted more of her. I know you can't get everybody, so but Portman crushed it. I love that there wasn't a big hang on any big cameos. Just a really cool film, very fun, funny, silly, and lighthearted, and that was nice to see. I love what they've done to Thor. I think what Taika has done with Thor has made him like such a, I don't know. They've given him, for some of the old fans, I think there's some old fans that are still sticking around with that, and they love this fun side of Thor. I'm sure there's some people that want him to stay serious, but I like him. I like that he's not boring. He's fun. He's exciting. What's he gonna do next? What's gonna happen? And he's got a sense of humor, and I don't know. It's very, very fun for me. I very much enjoyed it. But I think Ragnarok to me stands alone to me as a more like start to finish story, kind of. But yeah, either way, I liked it a lot. I think this needs to be a little bit shorter here on the peg. Just a little bit. And I know earlier I said I don't go in from the end like that to shorten it. That's when it's really long and weak. Kind of like it's, you risk it being, when the peg is longer, you have all that bend that can happen there. And when it gets smaller and shorter here, this becomes stronger. Like try to think of bending a tree compared to bending a tree stump. So here we are. I just needed a little shortening. And I think we're just about done with Spidey here. I think it just needed a little shortening there. See if I can get some of this excess off here. There we go. There's a little piece that was being kind of stubborn. There we go. Okay. That looks pretty dang good. All right. I just realized that this is the other hand. Where's this? I need a hand that actually goes on here. I think this dude sent me everything. This guy trusts me. Sent me all these. Sent me like everything. This is like this is an official one too. I can tell by the Peter Parker head. That's trust, y'all. That's really cool. All right. Let's see what we got here. See if this fits. This is the hand we should be trying it on. Yeah, it feels pretty snug. Let's see. Sorry guys if I was out of frame. I didn't mean to do that. Hello. Yeah, dude. Snug fit. Nice turn. Turns with it. Smooth turn all the way around. Get some of this excess out of the joint right there. That stuff will usually work its way out. Just a little bit of... Man, that looks wonderful. This is one of the best ones I've done too. Cool. I'm glad I got to do that live in front of you guys. And it's only 8 o'clock. So let's go, guys. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? The first I hear to say you loved the comedy and like what they did to Thor. I'm the first, really. That's amazing. It just strikes... I don't know why they wouldn't want... I don't know, man. I'm also not a fan of the Snyderverse stuff. I think it's too serious, and I think our superheroes need to lighten the F up and be more fun. It's not all about death and dying and seriousness. Like, even The Boys is funny. Like, The Boys, yeah, there's a lot of violence, sex, all that stuff. It's the worst stuff you can throw, but it's still very funny. Why would you not... In a movie that you can't show all of that, in a medium where you're not allowed to show all of that, like that rated R version stuff, why would you not want more lighthearted fun stuff? I feel like you're walking in knowing that's what you get to have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. It's up to the filmmakers, you know, they get to do whatever they want to do. I get that, but Taika is my favorite, man, and he's just making good moves, in my opinion. I think he's given us a fun Marvel Universe, and I think that's what we deserve. We deserve the dark side, too, but give us both. You know what I mean? Like, so Neil Robinson asked, what's your favorite Phase 4 project so far? I gotta go with Loki and What If. Man, so it's hard to, like, compare the films now and like the TV shows, because the TV shows, dude, you get so much. But so when I sit down for these films, so far I've liked everything from the new Phase in the films. I really wish we would have got Black Widow earlier on, just because of how amazing it made Black Widow. It would have made her loss like so much more impactful, because she was so... I don't think they ever gave Scarlett enough. And after I saw that movie, I was like, damn, she was crazy. Crazy. Like, man, the scene where she breaks her own nose, I was like, oh my God, she's crazy. I loved Hawkeye. I thought Hawkeye was crazy good. Man, I don't know, dude. What If's great. What If was one of my favorites. Because I got Captain Carter. Captain Carter is like, oh my God. Don't even get me started. I love Peggy. Like, Haley Atwell crushed it with, I miss that. I miss Agent Carter. That show was so awesome. And you know, obviously we lost that. But to see her come back, and then, I don't know, for those of you who haven't seen Multiverse of Madness, oh my God. I didn't see the last trailer, so that's what I've been trying to do. I watch the first trailer that comes out for things, and I don't watch any more. I don't want to see any more about it. So I had no idea the cameos that were about to pop up in freaking Multiverse of Madness. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, wow. That was freaking crazy to me. So I'm excited to see where they go with everything else. Loki's definitely one of my favorites. I've liked that Loki since the beginning. It was I'm glad too that they were able to like take the show and kind of solve a little bit, because I was wondering, I was like, man, that's gonna suck if they just do away with good guy Loki. You know what I mean? But they showed him kind of what would happen, and I was like, all right, there's still some mischievery there. But What If was insanely fun. I would love to see more of those. I would like to see the What Ifs not connect so much, though. I didn't really like that at the end as much. I feel like we could have got another fun episode instead of them connecting What Ifs. Like, who needs to connect a What If? Like, I don't know. I felt weird that all the universes had to connect at the end. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it plays into their whole like multiverse thing going on right now, but I'd rather just have a bunch of fun one-off stories that whatever. I was slightly disappointed with Moon Knight. Moon Knight's one of my top 5 favorite Marvel characters of all time. If I've made a custom of the character, then I love them. And yeah, I really liked everything I saw. I just feel like didn't get a whole lot of Moon Knight really, which would have been cool. But I don't know. We'll see where that goes. I don't know where the heck they're planning on going with it. I like the show as a total. Don't get me wrong, but I was just like, man, that's the only show that kind of felt, don't take this the wrong way, but kind of pointless. Like, without that show, did anything change? And I like it for each bit to actually add something to it. I think because my brain is in that point now where all this universe is connected, so it should feel connected. Now I get the gods and stuff like that, so there must be more setup coming along. But I don't know. I'm used to reading the Moon Knight comics, and I was like, whoa, what's going on? I'm not really a fan of Mr. Knight, the white suit and stuff. Just hot take. I like his suit. That's all we need. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens, you know? So I'm in favor of Taika working on the next Star Wars movie? Absolutely. You can give me more of this stuff all day, guys. I'll take all of it. I think it's really, really fun. Really, really fun. I wasn't a big fan of the Obi-Wan show. Like, I'm glad it exists. I love that Kumail Nanjiani got to be in Star Wars, and I hope to see more of him later. That was really exciting. I thought Obi-Wan was... I'm not a big Jedi guy. I just don't really follow into that, so clearly the show wasn't directed at me. Thought the show was good. Thought the last 5 minutes were very exciting because I got that outfit on Obi-Wan that I wanted so badly. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where that stuff goes. I'm very excited for Taika because he's going to do something original. Thank you, Taika. Let's just do original stuff from now on. I don't care. Like, all this stuff's neat, but seems like anytime they mess with a lot of Star Wars fans' precious characters that they just love so much, nobody can do anything right. Everything's wrong, and then it turns political or something stupid like that, and it's like, leave it alone. Can we just enjoy the fantasy? Because it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. Anything should be able to happen. So hopefully, Taika will bring something amazing. I just know he will. I was a little disappointed by his IG-11. I remember that. I was like, oh, Taika's going to be IG. And he was very robotic. Just very simple. I'm like, ugh. Honestly, I just want him to be Taika all the time. So it was weird seeing him serious. It was crazy. But either way, I don't know, man. I'm excited for all this stuff. I look forward to it. I'll be watching this stuff till I'm dead. Straight up. I wish DC was better, man. Aquaman's my main man. He's my main guy. And I wish Jason Momoa was Lobo so bad. When you've just got the perfect actor for the character, for certain characters, and then you don't use it, it's just like such a great opportunity there. I don't even know who I would choose for Aquaman. To this day, I don't know. I thought Patrick Wilson was more of an Aquaman than Momoa was as his Ocean Master. And not just by looks, but, you know, being able... I don't want to get into it. It's not worth it. But I look forward to DC doing some good stuff in the future, man. They've... after seeing Peacemaker, that was really fun. Funny. It's a funny show. Comedy was there. I do get it, though. I do see what people talk about Love and Thunder. It's like, it's way more comedy, slapsticky, jokey. But I really liked it. So, you know, I'm okay with having fun. But for the new Star Wars stuff, yeah, let's go, man. Bring it on. I don't really care. You know what's funny, though, to me is like the shows, like I guess the 1 out of 3 people that really loved Boba Fett. Everything about it. Everything about the show I really liked. I thought it was fun, cool, neat. I could take it for just being fun. Some people just really want to hate. They just want to hate it as easy as they can breathe. And I'm like, why? Why would you waste so much? Why would you waste so much of your energy trying to hate that? Just wanting to hate it. Like, no, going in, being like, I saw some people talking about Love and Thunder and stuff. It's like, I knew going in I wouldn't like it. I'm like, why'd you go in? Probably should have stayed away, because you just couldn't wait to hate this film and then get on your phone or your keyboard and just like, ugh. I don't have time for that people. That's gross. I don't have time for those people. It's just horrible. Horrible. Yeah, I think Thor's good, and I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's fun. I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm ready for more stuff. It's always really, it's fun. Dude, Love and Thunder, I freaking loved Christian Bale in it. My buddy Corey from Casting Cave, we were sitting there talking about it, and we're like, dude, he's like, I'm pretty convinced that he would have made the best. He'd probably make the best Joker, like we've ever seen. I was like, man, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, Michael, I liked everything in Boba Fett. I can't remember something that I didn't really like in it. Yes, I liked the Mod Squad kids. I thought they were cool. I thought they were, because the fact that whenever I see people who take care of their vehicles or take care of their cars and vehicles and stuff like that, even as dirty and dusty as that land is, just like out here in Texas, just like in small country places, I see people with very nice vehicles, and that's what they have. Like, if that's all I knew a lot of kids in high school that didn't have a lot of money, but when it came down to it, they had a car, and that's where they put all their money into, and the cars look spick and span, very nice, very, very clean and pretty. Even after they went mudding in it, they would clean it up. So everybody's like, well, what's with these kids on the mopeds and stuff like that? I was like, there's a bunch of kids on space mopeds. Never seen that before. I thought it was awesome. And people mouthed off on Boba Fett like they wanted to see this guy murdering people. Oh, he should have been more... What? Like, why does everybody want people to just go killing? Like, I don't get it. He's supposed to be this badass bounty hunter. He is. Did you... In the first, like just the first 2 episodes, like, this dude took out... He took out a whole bar of people by himself. He stole their bikes. He was able to escape the Sarlacc pit. He was able to take out a train heist. He was able to train an entire race of people to ride vehicles to operate them properly, he was able to change his ways. And I wish that's what people were able to do, is to maybe open their mind up a little bit, that not everything has to be so damn violent all the time. We live in a world that's so angry. And especially here in the United States, where we're so angry and, oh, they should have just fought and should have killed everybody. It's like, why? You can call me what you want, you know? You can call me soft or whatever, but I think it was really fun to see a character like that change his thought process and go a smart way. And people are, you know, all about, you know, Fennec, which I love Fennec. I think she's great. They're like, well, she's the real ruler of that town. It's like, great. If that's what you want, then maybe they'll get that, you know? But she's just out there killing again, and what does it do? Killing begets killing. It's going to inflict, what was it, just more revenge. And then where does it stop? I don't know. It's whatever. That's my take on it, guys. I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm not some anti-violence dude. You know, I watch The Boys. I enjoy it. Sometimes I want to see a character get dealt with because they're like, oh, I hate this guy. This guy's such a jerk. He's messing everybody over. But, like, make sure they deserve it in this universe. But, man, the Boba Fett show made me like Boba Fett. I didn't care about him before. Honestly, it's like this guy. I need substance to a character. So if I just see a cool armor, it's like, maybe I'm interested. If I found out a character is like a mechanic or they repair stuff, naturally I'm brought to that. An aquatic character, naturally I'm drawn to that because those are my tastes. But Boba Fett, I never gave anything. In fact, I didn't like him because he was just a murderer. He was a bounty hunter. I love the bounty hunter aspect, but I also think they're kind of pieces of garbage. They're kind of, you get paid to kill people. Now, if you're bringing in bad people, cool. But sometimes, dude, it's like some of these people got messed over by like the wrong person, or they couldn't pay back a debt, and now you got to bring them in. I can bring you in cold. It's like, cool, but you know. And then everybody was like, man, this show was Mando's show. Of course it was. For 2 episodes, they gave Mando some of the coolest scenes you've ever seen. It was in the writing as they were to. If people don't realize that they're allowing this new Mandalorian to take over the old Mandalorian, where everybody used to love this old Mandalorian, they got nothing from, Boba Fett, but he has the Mandalorian look. You've got a new guy now. You've got this new guy who's taken over that love, and then you can have a really cool Boba Fett who's able to still kick ass, but also rule with his brain. And I would love to see more people utilize that. Rule with your brain. He also, there's repercussions to things. There's accountability to things. And that's something we don't see ever currently. To see accountability. I liked it. I don't know. Thought it was pretty fun. Bounty hunter with a heart of gold. It's like you're either a bounty hunter or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, I don't know. I'm excited to see where they go with that. I hope we see Boba Fett again. Oh, I really, really can't wait for Cobb. I love me some Cobb. Texas, I mean, come on, man. From Texas, it just makes sense. Anyways, you guys got me talking here. I'm gonna get back to this. Let's get to, yeah, Eric, agreed. I actually would have liked more Cobb. I would have rather had 2 whole episodes of Cobb instead of Mandalorian. Give me Mandalorian and Mandalorian show. You know what I mean? That'd be cool. Just saying, let's get in more in this universe. We've already got seasons of Mandalorians. Like, let's chill. I know it was really fun to see him do his stuff too, and I liked what we got. I just wish we would have saw it later on. Like, it was cool to see him show up and fun, but I don't know. It was, I kind of wish they would have left him to do his thing. I thought it was cool to see him come back for him and Boba. And it's like, hey, you know, this one's on the house kind of deal. It's like, that's respect. I really like that. It's like, Mando respects Boba. Why can't these fans do that? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. People like to be angry these days. Like I said, it's very strange. So, let's get to Superman. So the Superman issue that you guys, I'm sure, have seen a lot is the bicep. What happens here, and we've disassembled this, so this piece right here usually goes in like so, which it's best to heat this up to pop it out. So this goes in here, like so. This attaches here, and then this goes in here. The problem you run into is it's not that it's oh, watch this. Let's take everything out of the equation, right? Let's do the basic functionality of this thing. This is what it's supposed to do, right? So this is supposed to go in here. That's a wonderful sound, right? One thing you can notice is if you pull slightly and twist, see how that's staying in? That's how it's supposed to. Okay? That's a kind of a thing that you can always figure out if it's going to work for you on a lot of these import figures. If you just slide, sometimes it feels like if you do this, you're like, oh yeah, it's good. Or you go all the way around. Cool. Give it a pull. And if it pops out, that means there's an imperfection in there. This is perfectly fine. Everything about this is working the way it's supposed to. So where is our issue? Okay, let's pop that out. Let's go ahead and let's try this. What we call here, this is called problem solving. So what do we got here? Generally, this right here is going to be inside. It will be. And you've got about, it looks like, probably about a tenth inch of plastic maybe right here. Maybe a little less, but yeah, about a tenth. So we've also lost some room here whenever we put this in. So let's see, will this fit properly? And I bet it will. I think so. It should, because there's nothing to stop it. But this is what we do. You work your way up the chain, right? So here we go. Looking good. And it looks like we've got just enough to move around in here. My question is this. If we were to put this... What I'm thinking the problem that happens here is, honestly, I think what you'd need to do, and I'm just kind of thinking about this, is this interior needs to be thinner right here. Like that whole area right there needs to be thinner, and there's nothing I can really, I don't know how I would even get to do that properly. But let's try to do this. Let's heat this back up, and let's pop it on. So now that we know how this is supposed to work, and I thought I've done this before, but I'll double check or make sure this works. Sometimes you can heat this up. So you pop out the bicep, right? And you heat it up. Let's get it nice and... Let's get a little softer than that. I don't want to go nuts on it, but I want to make sure that this is soft enough to where if we were to press something against this, that the plastic is actually going to squish. Because if we can get that thing to pop in without dremeling any, then we're set. We're good to go. Okay, so let's move quick. Let's see what happens here. Let's go ahead and pop that in, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and get this in here. And what we might need to do, honestly, is heat this up. Let's go ahead and heat that up. While that's still slightly hot, we're going to heat up this. And it looks like the client's either used some adhesive or shaved something down here. I'm not sure. Because I can tell this bottom is like a little white. Let's see. Is it still a little squishy here? Let's see if we can't squish these together and get ourselves a nice, satisfying pop. Now be careful. I'm going to push from the hard plastic here into this. You don't want to bend it too crazy and it pop. I wonder if I can... I haven't heard the pop yet, so you can't... Let's Let's see if I can. I'm trying to put this on the edge here of my table, because you want to be. There it went. I'm pretty sure that was just it. Pretty sure we just did it. So with heating all of that up, and we'll see. Let's see if it'll pop out. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Let's see. That was it. That's all that needs to be. I just solved that problem. I've done so many different repairs on this. And the last time I fixed one of these, I want to say I tried something like that after I had already put in like a little more work. Like I'd put a little super glue on the tip of the peg here, right? And so that was going to keep it in better, which it did. When it comes down to it, guys, all you have to do is heat this up, heat this up. You need to take the arm out first, take this out. And then you put this right here, this hard plastic bit, on the corner of something like a table, something that's not going to bend on you like so. And you want to grab it from the bicep. Grab the plastic, the hard plastic, because if you're trying to push down via the hand or like the arm like this, you could break, you could go to the side, you could snap this joint. You want to make sure you got a nice tight hold. Push that in, click. I can't freaking believe that. That's all it takes. That's it. That's all it takes. And then you just simply pop it back on. Unbelievable. That's literally how easy it is, guys. Well, probably won't be doing that repair for people anymore, because that's how you do that. That wouldn't even be worth. I don't even know if I should like. I'll need to do that on. I'll have to take that clip and just put it on my my TikTok, just because it's that quick. Called a quick talk. All right. Well, we've still got. Dang, dude, we're crushing it tonight. It's 8:23. Let's see what we can do with old Annie here. This one, Annie is not okay. He's not okay. He's not okay, Annie. You can tell. Look how mad he is. He's a mad boy. He's like, oh. Okay. So, the issue that we have here, let's see if this will pop out or if this is actually attached. Is this attached? I'm gonna need this to not be attached. Okay, cool. So we're gonna have to reattach this with some adhesive later. Maybe. Let's see. I'm trying to see. So, unfortunately, these are not attached via screw, which really sucks. I wish it was. If it was, we could just simply unscrew these and pull them apart. The issue that we've got here is that the leg, like so, here, has broken off. And let's go ahead and see if we can't get a grip on this. Pop that out. It looks like what happened here was that the client attempted to tighten the leg, and it probably locked in and broke off. That's exactly what happened here. So what we need to do is we'll drill a hole through this if we can use this this figure here. If we can use this piece, this factory piece, then great. Neil Robbins said, Billy, do you think these QC issues are from the factory or people being too rough? I think it could be a combination of both, but the fact that I've seen this break more than anything that you've seen tonight. This sandwich, whatever you want to call these two, these barbell, not even barbell. What are they? These, I need to know a name for this. What is this called? Like, you know, when the two joints basically fit together like so, and they swivel here with a disc through them, and they have the pegs. Those import hips. I see this break all the time, and it's because the peg has that dip in it to where you don't get a full bar across, and you get half of this bar, and that breaks because you don't have a solid bar. In fact, I want to say that dude, Valaverse, the Valaverse figures, Bobby Vala, man, whoever was their engineer did such a their engineer was amazing, man. He or she, whoever they are, they redid the way those work, and it was way easier to repair than anything. Is that a T-joint? Is that correct? Okay. So, yeah, so T-joints then. So those are these swivel T-joints. Those are like one of the biggest issues. Bobby Vala and them, they made them to where they don't use a peg all the way through. There's like one has like a peg on it, so they just kind of both have stick into each other and fit, and it's so smart. It's just so smart. I really like it. But anyways, as far as people being too rough, every now and then, yeah. But with the Superman, that bicep popping out, dude, I mean, you'd have to yank on that thing. You know what I mean? Like that would suck. I don't know. You'd have. I don't even know. I'm getting lost in my own thoughts. For the bicep issue with Superman, the fact that they're almost always on the left side is definitely a QC issue. Nothing's broken there. It just needs to be heated back up and popped in. But you really gotta, like, for some reason, none of those joints are on there correctly. Well, most are not. And then the Spider-Man wrist joint, that just sucks, man. What I've noticed is that the wrist joints are too thin, and you go to put a hand, and I mean, it could take one slip and break. I watched a video of a guy the other day, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. He was like talking about, I don't know how y'all are breaking these figures. I don't know how y'all are breaking these figures because it's like this. It's like, dude, because accidents happen. That's how. Don't try to make people feel stupid for breaking something. It's an accident. Now, a lot of times when somebody breaks something, they generally know why they broke it. Generally. Sometimes not so much, man. So no, it's not always a person's fault. I think there's definitely, we definitely have QC issues out there, and when it's the same break over and over again, especially if it's on the same side, it's definitely a QC issue. I mean, that's pretty much the definition I would think. So with these, this is a little crazier. What you got to do is we have to crack this open, which man, like I said, it sucks that there's no cap or anything on here to like. Some of the Dragon Ball figures have like a little cap on the butt. You can pop that out. Some figures have like screws that you can get to, which I don't think this has any. The only place I could think they would be like where this like little tunic skirt is popping in it, and I don't think it has any. Not that I can see. So what that means is these things have been like heat pressed in right here on the sides, and so we have to crack it open, which yuck, kind of sucks. But what you can do in order to do this a little safer is you can go in with like a flathead screwdriver like so. I'm gonna have to go in with a hammer and carefully. So you can see that I'm coming in from the bottom here, so it won't be very obvious if you do end up, damaging something. It looks like we got a small crack now, all the way down. That's good. Cracked at the seam. I'm trying to keep it close, semi-close to the center. So that was good. And all you have to do to reattach these is use a little bit of adhesive. So let's see if we can do this other side now. Just a little bit. That one didn't crack as well as I would have liked it. I'm not actually sure. I don't even know if that cracked. Let's see. This one doesn't seem to be wanting to crack as much, so we'll go back to this one here. You can see I'm starting to come out the other side here, which these are seams. They're not just, I didn't just crack all the way through. Oh, what's up, Josh? Man, my man Rocker Josh just showed up. Said he can't hang, but he wanted to say hello. So I love that. So hello to you, sir. Appreciate you. Thanks for always supporting the crew. And what I can tell here, it's like some kind of extra bit on top here. I'm trying to see this. The engineering here is kind of strange. It looks like it's like the sides here have a seam. And we're going to try to keep the integrity of the little posts that are inside of here. I'm trying to see where this is actually connected, if it needs to, because sometimes these things can be sandwiched in, you know what I mean? And you don't want to crack something that doesn't need to be cracked. There could be something that's like holding them in, holding it together, and you don't want to be working against something like that. So I'm trying to see where this actually opens up. And I'm wondering if this, because it's kind of weird because the crack goes up through here, the side. This is a really cool tool right here. Man, so those pegs are kind of giving us a little issue, but we want to keep them intact if we can. Those are big help whenever we go to reattach this stuff. Let's go, since we've already got a seam crack kind of started here, let's go and start with a bigger, these freaking Waiha German screwdrivers are really good. They're crazy strong. Let's go ahead and kind of trying to figure out what it is that's holding these in. Luckily you wouldn't be able to tell, even if we were to like damage the bottom here, which I wouldn't be surprised if we did a little bit under here, little divots. I'm trying to see what's holding this thing together. I would think normally it would have been on the sides here, but it looks like there's like a little piece around here. It almost looks like it's like 3 or 4 pieces. It's such a strange bit of engineering. But this is what it takes, man. You want to be careful. I don't know if any of y'all know, but this is a very expensive figure. It's heating wouldn't help here because it's hard plastic. You know, be careful what you crack. Thanks, Josh. Solid advice, my man. Careful what you crack. So you can see something's stopping us from cracking this all the way open. You just want to be very careful. I don't own this figure, man. I wish I did. What sucks is this is like the 3rd one of these that I've had to repair something on, and I wish I had this figure. I jumped onto the prequel game very late. Very late. I didn't I remember seeing some of them when I was a kid, and I was like, whatever. I didn't really care. Here recently, I watched them as an adult for the first time, like seriously, like 2 years ago, all the way through, and I still hated the first one. Not hated, but I was just like, God, this just isn't for me. I really like the second one, which a lot of people are like, what? I'm not your average person. I enjoyed it, so I can do that. But I got into the Clone Wars finally, and I was like, man, this is crazy cool. I actually really like Obi-Wan, and Kit Fisto's my favorite. Okay, here we go. So yeah, there's some kind of rubber that's like, there's some kind of rubber bit that's like attaching itself. Okay, so I'm thinking what we probably should have done. I think this is a rubber bit right here. It is. This rubber bit must be attaching itself to the plastic via, I'm pretty sure, like some adhesive. You can see it's kind of, the rubber's kind of tearing right here under. Okay, so here we go. What the heck? This is so strange. It's like here we go. Let's take some of this off. So here's the side piece off. This is made out of rubber, like a softer rubber plastic. And it looks though, so somebody a minute ago asked me if some heating would work, and I said no, that might not be true. This might, I don't even think you really need it, but it looks like it's just held in place like under this stuff. It looks like there was like just a little bit of, there's like adhesive holding in this thing. I think Anakin just used the Force on me. Yeah, it's like a rubbery plastic all the way around that kind of holds it, that's holding it in right here. That's really weird. I've never seen that before. That's a new one. And with that, it sent the piece that I was working on not very far away. Cool. Okay. So, now let's get down to this. God, this is a crazy repair. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this tonight, guys. But we can try. We can see how far we can get. So here's your issue. Here's where our piece broke off. And you don't want to break this peg. I'm going to try very hard not to break this peg. See if I can use my end clippers here to get the piece that broke. And let's see if we can't grip it. And carefully like bend it. Okay, definitely still bends. It twists, so let's kind of, since we got a semi-good grip on it, see if we can't pull this thing out a little bit. Okay, it's coming out a little bit. Like I said, I'm actually on the disc itself trying to pull this guy out here. There we go. Okay, so here's our piece, and you can see just how tiny that is, man. That's really, really small. And what we do here, here's what I'll show you what happens. We use a little bit of our JB Super Weld here. Make sure this thing's open. These things are getting a little locked up. Just found out that you can actually do a subscribe and save on Amazon with these, which is amazing. Let's see what we can do. So what I like to do, honestly, every time is if I think these might be salvageable, which generally they are, I like to glue them. Sometimes I'll glue them together. You know, we might actually shift gears on that idea. I was gonna glue it together just so I could show you what I'm talking about, because I don't think you're gonna be able to see that. So what happens here, I need to start keeping like a pencil and paper with me so I can draw it out sometimes so we can see it. What happens is there's this bar, okay? So we've got this bar. Let's pretend that this right here is our peg bar right here, right? This right here, this ball is going to go into the hip. And here's our bar. So here's the ball. Here's the bar. There's a disc that connects right here so it can hinge, correct? What happens is this bar is so thick, it's essentially, let's say this is it, but the disc, say this is the disc, right? It's only that big. It's only taking up half the thickness. So that breaks off. This breaks off all the time. And that's the issue that we're dealing with. Ooh, Samurai Chris, are you serious, dude? Are you on freaking Switch? If you're on Switch, Instagram me your friend code. Would love to play you in Mario Kart, man. Dude, Christine's really good. Christine's crazy good at Mario Kart. You don't want to play her. Man, I hate how foggy. Does anybody else have that issue with like Mac cameras? Look how foggy it looks. I even tried like wiping it off a minute ago. I don't think that did anything. I think, is this it? Kinda. Looks like crap. Oh man, dude, Chris, I didn't know you were on freaking Switch. Dude, by the end of this month, I'll probably have the new Ninja Turtle game on there as well. I've been playing on PlayStation, but you might need to get that turtle game. Go fighting. We usually fire up the Discord sometimes too, like if we're playing on a Switch, so we can all talk in the Discord chat, which is pretty fun. Anyways, so what you can do, and this is something I found that this works successfully here. I'm gonna have to use a smaller drill bit because these thicker ones that I really like using just can't cut it on here. So we use this smaller drill bit, and this I believe is a 0.8 or 0.9 millimeter drill bit. It's got to be under 1. And what we do is we're going to take a small eye hook screw. I feel like I haven't done this in a while. This is like my go-to. I've been doing this for freaking years now. This is my go-to method. A lot of people know me from this method alone, is the my eye hook technique. I got tired of trying to find other ways to fix these tiny joints. These are the ones that I think I wanted to fix the most because these were the most expensive figures, you know, these imports. So I started using these eye hook screws because I needed something that was small enough to go through here. You know, they're not the strongest, but when you put them lace them with a adhesive and then insert them into a plastic bit, it really forms a really strong bond. So that's it was with years and years of trial and error, guys, that you're getting in just a couple seconds. So you're welcome. So what we can do is this. This is a tough one because, I mean, you only got like really one shot to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold it with these pliers. And we're going to drill a hole in the center. Before we go any further, let's make sure we're in the middle. And we are. Make sure you can see it. Okay. I don't know how well this shows up. How do we do this? So I just drilled directly through the center here without clipping any of the ends. There's really no room for error. So you're either going to do it right or you're going to do it wrong. I have gone all the way through this into the center, not the other side. We don't want the screw inside of here. We don't want that. So what happens here is that this screw has a point on it, correct? This is the tip. And so we're actually going to cut that off later. We're going to sand it just a little flat so whenever we do insert this into here, and you can see just how this fits. Right now is a good time to actually take it and go all the way through. That way we know it's going to fit all the way through whenever it's at its thickest. You know, you don't want it to just put it in there with that little silver tip. Last thing you want to do is have to go in and sand this down while it's inside. I've done that a few times. It sucks because you're just heating up you're heating it up, and that's going to heat up the plastic. It can mess up your adhesive, yada, yada, all that stuff. So what we do here is essentially we semi-correct the mistake that they've made. So there's a hole, that's in there. This hole needs to slightly be off-centered. If you put it in the center, that's okay, but your leg might be slightly off. Not enough for you to probably notice unless you're very anal about it. You want it to be, if you can, I usually try to go for the center and then down just the slightest little bit. I know you probably can't see that because of the quality and the zoom here, so I do apologize. You can take my word for that. And there's a lot of, I think I've done a lot of tutorials on this as well. Well, let's see what happens here. So what we want to do is grip this. I'm going to try to go in. You can see the side right here. This is the, you can see where the stress mark is from where it broke. I'm going to try to go in right there. Slightly off-centered. Leaning towards that stress mark there. And you want to go all the way through. You want to go all the way through this and then kind of turn it around and go back through the opposite way. You have to be very careful when doing that as well. You can break your drill bit. Sometimes whenever you come back in through a hole that you've made, if you're slightly off-centered, it can snap. And then trying to get that out, if you can't get a grip on it, is really crappy. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. I kind of let the drill take itself in there instead of trying to fight against it. Okay. So what you want to do before we get any further here is start taking this screw and see if you can screw it in just via your hand, not using any kind of help with a, I mean, you can hold it, but try to see if you can do this with your fingers. If you can, it feels like it's going in pretty well. I think that's going in pretty good. That feels pretty good. So the reason I'm doing that is because if you straighten this out and you start putting this in here, all of a sudden 3/4 of the way through it feels too tight and you try to bend that again, these will break. These can twist off, which you know, that sucks. You don't want that. Because then you're stuck with a screw in there, and if you can't grip it out, you have to Dremel it out. It sucks. So you don't want that. But yeah. Hey, Jesse. Jurassic Jesse. What's up? Yeah, I know your Mezco Harley's got that. I can't wait for her to visit the casa. Send her on over. Oh wait, are you? I wonder if you're watching like the earlier bit. Are you watching like the Spider-Man? So I actually have gone around right here. I'm going back through the bottom. Just like I said, it felt a little tight. It felt a little snug going through the other end. And so I just wanted to see if there's anything in here, if we needed to clear out any kind of excess, which that's feeling pretty good. Like I said, if you can do this with your bare hands, or at least, you know, one hand, then that's good. It's really good. Okay, so that felt really good. I'm going to go ahead and go through the side we're actually going to go through with the drill one more time, just to clear out any kind of anything that might have been in there. I'm feeling pretty good about this repair, so let's see what happens. We got 11 minutes left. The Toy Migos are coming on tonight. I'm not sure what time they come on. I want to say he said, I think they're on hella late for me. I think Cheney, let me double check my messages real fast. My man Cheney 180. 8:15 Pacific time, sir. I think that's like 10:15. Yeah, I think that's 10:15 my time, if I'm not mistaken. So if you guys got some time, if y'all are night owls, here in Central Time at least, around 10:15, them amazing Migos are going to be on, and it's always fun. I love me some Migos. I actually got me a Chat Migo shirt on the way, dude. They put up some new merch the other day. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Maybe one day I'll put up merch and you guys will be like, yeah, I want to wear a shirt about a dude that fixes toys. Alright, so what we're doing right now is we're straightening out the screw here. And what you want to do is make sure that it's going to have plenty of room to go all the way through, especially with that threading. But also at the end, I like to take it and just bend it right here. I do that so I'll have something to grip whenever I tighten this guy into the hole that we've made. Okay. All right. So got that ready to go. Let's go ahead and we'll. This is where I like to grip. You always want to grip it with a pliers. That's the word. Grip it with these pliers next. So I'm going to get this guy ready here because we're going to go in through the end here, the ball end. We're going through that, out the bottom, and then we're going to go into this. So what we want to do is, first we grip this. This is kind of confusing. We want to grip the screw that we've just straightened, right? And we're going to take some JB Super Weld. Now this might, I'm going to see if this is actually blocked. It might be blocked. Oh, it's not. Hell yeah, man, this stuff's amazing. Okay, so I'm adding some of the adhesive on here right now. I'm not hitting the very tip of the screw. And reasoning for that is because I don't want it to add more adhesive than we need. And we're also going to need that clean for whenever we'll put glue on it after we get it through this the hole that we've made, because we're gonna want a fresh little dab of adhesive on it so we make sure it makes a good contact through the disc. All right, so now that we've already got some adhesive, we're gonna put the clean end here. Here we go. Get yourself a nice grip. Trying not to get any super glue on my fingers. I hate that stuff. Let's see how far. We don't want to go in too far. Not to mention, if we do, it's okay. If we go out a little bit, it's all right, because remember I said we're going to clip some of the tip off of here. Okay. Let's keep on twisting. I think we're exiting the hole we made. We're looking pretty good. I think we can go out a little further than that. You don't want to let it sit in there too long because it will dry up. All right, that looks pretty good. I think maybe I'll do one more twist just in case. If we go out a little extra, it's okay, because like I said, we're gonna sand a little bit. You just want to make sure that you've got some of the threading on the inside and some of the threading on the outside. Okay, so what we're looking at here is, if we were to put this the way it is right now, it would go all the way through and have a big old chunk sticking out. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the metal steel part here, and I'm going to sand down this just a little bit. And when you're doing this, this is whenever you definitely want to put on any kind of safety goggles you might have, because some of this can flake off. Sparks can begin. Okay. Sorry if I totally walked out of the screen there, sorry. See where we're sitting at now. I think that's about right. I think that's about where we want to be. Might do one more sand. For good measure. So we don't have a lot to grip onto, you know? You kind of get what you got, and it looks like we got about I'd say 2 to 3 good turns. I'm betting 2, but we'll see. I bet it's going to go 1, 2, and then maybe a third one. Before we put any adhesive on here, we want to test. Kind of give it a nice press in there. Let's see if it's going to actually work, because sometimes you actually have to back up. You might have messed up some of the integrity whenever you drilled the sand at the end here. But that's why we did it earlier. That's already starting to feel good. Cool. Usually it works, but sometimes you can hit like sand the wrong spot. A little bit of that comes off, and then you know, you're kind of in a pickle. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add a nice little drop of, I like JB Super Weld. I think this is the best adhesive, period. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and with our adhesive laced tip, we're going to go ahead and insert this here. It's actually a lot more than I expected it to twist. That's pretty good. This is looking like a very feeling and looking like a very solid repair. The only issue I'm seeing is that while I was twisting that in there, I think some of the screws still ended up coming out. Let's see. Unless that's just, oh, nope, it didn't. Oh, it's perfect. Oh, it's just a little bit of excess plastic. This is a beautiful one, guys. This one's wonderful. Unfortunately, it's 8:58. Dang it. We were close, guys. We were really close on this one. You want to let the this adhesive dry before you try to go and do anything crazy with it. Especially if you were to try to put this on here right now, if you were too excited. There's still some wet adhesive on here, and it can get you know, a little messed up. Although I don't know if anybody's coming on at 9 o'clock, so if you guys want to hang out a little longer, we might be able to knock this one out tonight. It's up to y'all. What we can do, though, since we're waiting on this to dry, we can go ahead. We'll take our end clippers here, and we'll get a grip on here. And we need ourselves a classic Maru technique. Good old plastic bag. Let's get you a big old Ziploc. Big old Ziploc. There we go. You never know if those pieces are going to go flying or not. Alright. Drop that down. So, luckily, too, these are the smaller eye-hook screws. So what I can do, let's go ahead and see if we can't get a little more of that off. Cool, cool. All right, so what we can do here is put our goggles back on. We're gonna take our sanding bit. And the reason why we're doing this is because whenever you clip this, there's usually a little sharp bit right here. This is a spherical bit. So when it goes inside of that cavity, last thing you want anything to be is not, you know, not perfect. So we need any anomalies cut out. So we're going to go ahead and sand this down just a little bit. It shouldn't take much. And you don't want to sit there and hang on it, because keep in mind, I'm doing this fast due to it being alive. But that adhesive is still drying. So what this is doing, if you were to stay on that screw too long, it's going to heat up due to that friction. This is a hell of a heat conductor. So you'll notice how I'm just kind of working in little spurts. Yeah, cool. Okay, so next, you can feel that. Kind of be careful, but you can feel that with your finger. See if it's good the way you like it. I feel like there's still a little piece hanging on right there. I don't want that. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So, we are very close to being done here. One thing we do want to make sure, though, is it was interesting that this popped out as easy as it did. Before we go crazy here and go putting this back in, another good thing you can do is if, like, so where you attach this, if you would, take your sanding bit and kind of edge off just right here, just so it kind of, we're going to make sure that this retains that circular integrity. And sometimes that adhesive can kind of mess with that a little bit. That's all we did, was literally just kind of come in here and make sure that this is, you know, rounded out, just smooth. It shouldn't take more than, like I just did, just a little bit of love. And basically, like I said, it just kind of clears out this arc right here. So whenever we do insert this, it just rounds itself out. Everything else is looking pretty good. I'm going to sand this right here. I can't tell if I did that or if that was where I was holding it with the pliers, or if that was something from before, but just in case. Okay, let's double check what we're working with here. So we've got our right leg and our left leg. Here's the seat of the pants. So it looks like it, yeah, it's definitely the right leg because it's the one with all the adhesive in it. Yeesh. Let's see if we can pop. Man, this is the original one. This makes me nervous. Okay. It's pretty good. And so this is always a risky one too. Like this repair here, there's a lot of motion. This goes up, down, it twists, it bends, it goes forward and backwards. So there's a lot that can go wrong in a repair like this. Just because it's such, this is the most fragile, this is almost the smallest and most fragile repair I do. Probably top 3. Definitely top 3. So we want to make sure that it's not going to just break off. Sometimes it can, and sometimes it'll hold. You'll know right away if this is going to like hold what really well or not. And it feels like a very solid hold, solid repair, and all that stuff. I'm just kind of, honestly, kind of stalling right now just to let this adhesive kind of dry a little more. Just want to make sure. This extra adhesive in here does kind of make me a little nervous, just because it's going to add a little extra to it. I'd rather have full control. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape this out because it doesn't do a whole lot on PVC anyways. A lot of times what I'll do on these is, you can use the super glue trick. The JB Super Weld works really good. It tends to stick a little bit better. There's also like, let's see, make sure this isn't stuck. Let's just try to make it pretty real quick. We're trying to scrape up some of this, man, this adhesive that's in here. This always causes a big old problem. This is why I usually have to charge. I always charge more for adhesive if the client used adhesive, because it's like, I get that question more often than not. It's like, how do you remove adhesive? I'm like, slowly, carefully, and did I mention slowly? Let's see, where's my razor? So usually you have to cut it, sand it, and paint over it. If somebody knows of any other way, cool. But I've only heard people hear of things. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I heard there's acetone. I'm like, yeah, you're mixing 2 chemicals together right there, and that's not something you want to do And plus, it's not really going to work that well. It just won't. You can take paint off if that lets you know anything. But if you're mixing it with another adhesive like super glue, you need to be very careful. You need to be in a very well ventilated area and work with a mask on, because that's incredibly dangerous. And you know, people always think they're invincible until they're not. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, and this is going to go in, I believe, this way. Yeah, we're going to put it in this way. Okay, so hopefully, fingers crossed, here's what happens. We're either going to end this stream on a great note, or I got to send this piece off to Casting Cave to get casted. And I hope that's not the case. I love working with the guy, but gosh, don't want to put all that on him. And I still see one anomaly right here. It looks like it's some... Looks like there was some extra adhesive on there. Like I said, I want to get all that off before we put it back in here. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see what happens. Make sure it clicks in. Okay. Let's try the up and down first. Up and down feels good. Back and forth. Back and forth feels pretty good. This is the scary part, is the twist. Because keep in mind, what did we do to attach this in the first place? We twisted a screw in there, correct? So this is where all of your extremely hard work can completely come undone if it's too tight. So let's see. So what I'm doing right now is I am twisting with the screw, not against the screw. And you can see that it popped out. It was actually doing a really good job, but then it popped out. Okay, let's try that again. It felt good. Okay. Let's see. Feels like it gets really tight right there. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to twist with it, see if it pops out. I think it's going to. Okay, cool. So what we can do is we take our, I think that was the issue in the first place. Pretty sure that's what the client said. What we can do is take our small bit here. What's happening here is there is an anomaly in here somewhere. Something in here is just not rounded out deep enough. So I'm going to take a small burr bit. And we're not going to go crazy. Want to know what is causing the issue, right? So that was just a little bit of dremeling, a little bit of light dremeling, really. Let's see what happens here. If we can, what we want, and this is exactly what it boils down to earlier when I was talking about that Superman. If you twist it, okay, cool. Sometimes though, if you twist and pull, it might pop out. It's a bad thing. That means there's some kind of anomaly that's stopping that. It's rounded and then it's hitting like a bump and just popping out. So let's see what we got here. This is, you always want to do a little bit at a time. You don't want to do a whole lot, just because it can turn into a whole thing. Patience is the key. And again, turning with the screw. Okay, so that popped out again. What you're wanting to do is hit every single angle in here Also want to take a look at my peg here. Let's kind of Dremel a little bit of this off. Very lightly. All right. Take 3. Is that right? All right. That's a much softer fit. We'll twist it and see if it just falls out on its own, because it might. We might have to add some adhesive to kind of fill in what we've done here. Ah, I think we found the spot. So check this out. Looks pretty good, right? No big deal. Watch when we get to here. There's just like a... Look at that. There's nothing. There's nothing there. So, on the positive end, I have to actually pull on it now for it to come out. That's a good sign. So what we've done now is we've secured something, and we hit the right spot that took out that anomaly that was actually making it pop out, but we didn't hit that, just only that spot. We hit everywhere else. So now we've kind of got a semi-loose spot. So what we want to do, and this is scary, but you want to take the joint we've made here, and we're going to add a little bit of just a little bit of adhesive. Okay, and whenever I tell you guys, sometimes I give you some advice whenever somebody hits me up, and it's like, well, how do I tighten this? This is how you do it. And generally you don't want to do this. It sucks that you have to do this with a joint that you might have already repaired. Okay, so I've just just put a slight small dab of adhesive on here, right? And right now what I'm doing is just kind of coating it. And now we're going to take this, we're going to pop this in, and as soon as it goes in, start twisting. Go up, down, and twist. Up, down, twist. It's kind of locking up right there. There's a spot where it locks up. It's like right there. And I'm hoping that I got it to stop. It feels like I did. Cool, I think we might have. Let's go ahead and get a nice grip with our pliers here. You want to be, I'm having to do this very carefully because I just do not like, you never know if it's just going to undo everything you've done, you know? And what we're wanting to do is, while this is, we want to make sure that once this dries, that there's no like rough spots, right? That's going to pull us back in, and it's like, hey, you know, it moved well in this direction. Sometimes that'll happen too. I've had that happen where it moves fine in one direction, you try to move it the other way and it gets stuck and it can break. You never know, man. It's crazy. Sometimes I get people hitting me up on repairs and they're like, that's probably easy, right? I'm like, I can't tell you that something's easy, because so many crazy things can happen in repairs that I've done 100 times. And when I say 100 times, I mean it. This year alone, guys, I've done over 240 repairs. That's job listing. That doesn't include how many were in each job. Sometimes I get 5 to 7 in a job. So it's like, that's just this year alone, guys. Pretty crazy, right? And I owe that to y'all, so thank you. And I hope you guys are learning something from it. That's really what I want the most. Okay, so now that we've been doing this, and I'm pretty confident that that's dried, I want to try to twist it back the other way. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with this repair. Cool. Yeah, I was worried. You know, you always get worried. I don't know. I'm the, like, sometimes I won't hear from a client, and I'm like, okay, I guess they're happy with it. And then sometimes I'll hear from a client and it's like, hey, Bill, got the package. And I'm like, ooh. They're like, looks great, better than new, or something like that. And I'm like, so good. Thank God, my heart. Because I will be the first to tell you that, man, sometimes things don't hold. Sometimes the repair doesn't hold. I can only do so much. And the impossible, you know, it just takes a little longer. So that worked really well. Super duper happy with that. Let's go ahead and we're going to place this back on. Let's see if it goes on. I'm going to make sure. I don't think there's any extra screw hanging in there. So let's go ahead and see if we can't push this in. I'm going to try to trying to push it straight. There we go. It's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it as tight as this one, but oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's not good at all. I'm glad we tested that first. The up and down on this thing are like, so the left and right's really good. Oof, that's wimpy. Damn. Okay, well, twist it. All right, well, let's see. Since we've put it back on that way, I wonder if I can put a small dab right here on, and I know this looks crazy, but let's see if we can't get this right in there. Really, you always want to, like I said, up and down, back and forth, side to side, up and down, back and forth, side to side. You always want to do that to make sure. And I mean, when we're in here, basically what I was doing a minute ago, you know, when I'm dremeling, is I'm doing the best I can to try to just eyeball it, utilizing a smaller, you know, size than what we're actually dealing with in there. And you can already see that this is already starting to work better, which is always good. It's always a good thing. I'm just trying to, you always want to keep an eye on that peg too to see if it's starting to twist without the disc twisting with it. You know what I mean? There we go. I think that's what we want. But we always make sure that don't ever leave these guys alone. You can never trust them. I kind of want to put a dab of the bottom. It's just making me a little nervous. I don't want to make this, I don't want it to be too tight. I know they were trying, the whole point was they were trying to tighten it, but it's either you can have it super crazy tight or you can have it attached. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where you run into this issue if you're wanting to repair it. I'm going to go ahead and add an extra dot right here. It's only touching the ball. And I'm going to start by going up and down and then back and forth, side to side. I don't actually think the side to side's doing anything in here, but it just makes me feel better to do that. Man. It's feeling pretty good. This is the worst part. Like, honestly, this is the most tedious part of doing this stuff is, oh man, I wonder if that's going to work. I think that was too much. I think I caught the screw on that one. Yep. I'm pretty sure, even though it's going up and down, I don't think it can twist backwards and forwards anymore without it breaking. Shoot. Should have left it alone. Should have left it alone. This is a incredibly hard repair. The problem that we ran into here is that, and this isn't on the client. I'm not knocking the client, but the fact that there was anomalies added in that we couldn't really mess with from before. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that caught the... yeah, it's definitely bending. Damn it. Well, guys, I appreciate you sticking with me for that one, but this is, I think all of our work on this guy just went down the tubes because I tried to tighten it more. You know, you try to send it back in better condition. You know, you want it, the whole point that they wanted, the whole thing that they wanted was for this to be tighter, right? And that's what I want. So what I might end up doing is either I have to find a brown piece of plastic and basically do what I did for the Spider-Man repair. Now this works a lot of the time, it really does. But like I said, the unfortunate side effect is you can either, like I said, have it really tight or you can have it attached. And that's only when it comes to like repairing one of these joints like that. But I can already tell you that this is starting to, like, watch this, twist it out just like that. That's interesting though, is that it twisted out of the disc. Like I said, you have about, let's see what happens if I add some, you know, it might be able to be fixed, but I don't know, we'll see. So I just added a big old dollop on there because the screw, the threading is still good. So it might have just broke free from all of that extra movement. But the thing, like I said, the thing I don't want to happen is for, you know, I don't know, a week goes by, all of a sudden the client hits me up and is like, hey man, this ain't what I wanted, because now it's broke. And I don't want that. Let's see if we can twist this. See what I mean? Like we're trying to see. So this is in fact so tight now that even going with the screw, I think is gonna probably strip it out. Yeah, this wasn't meant, I mean, when it comes down to it, this isn't meant to be tightened this much, and you run into issues like that. This is what it is. I guess 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We had this fixed, but then I went and had to go stupid with it and make it like super tight. And the worst part is that brown joints don't just come by all the time. Win some, you lose some. Man, look at, I mean, it's just covered in freaking adhesive. Let's see. Yeah, it's like, the joint's really tight, but unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna. If it was only going up and down, this guy would be perfect. It'd be no problem at all. But yeah, I can actually see that it actually twisted further in. Yeah, I can't even twist it forward anymore. That's too much. It got too tight in there. Dang it, dude. That sucks, man. Like I said, this happens. It's never fun when it does happen, but you know, accidents or mistakes or hell, just something crazy like that happens. A lot of times, I would say 80% of the time, that whenever this problem does arise, it's because I had it in good standing and then I attempted to push it. I attempted to go further, which is crazy. You just saw me, like, I just plucked that out of there and it's still attached, but you can see that the screw has gone in even further. I think. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't really trust this now, the way it is. And so what'll happen is I'll need to find a way to, probably the smartest way is I could probably take this peg that's in his chest right here, pop that out. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet this, like, this is the same peg? Look at that. I'm pretty sure that's the same damn peg. All you have to do is pop that out, probably reshape it, and you could turn it into a leg peg, and then you take this one and replace it with like a black, which you'll never see that because it, you know, covers up like so. I don't think you'd ever notice, but either way, I'll see what happens. Sorry guys, I thought we could get 3 done tonight, but I'm not trusting that one, and I'm damn sure not sending it back in that condition, because that is not what Toy Mechanics is about. You win some, you lose some. I'll figure out a way to get this thing fixed. But dang, felt really good there for a minute, but it's that tightening. You guys got to be really careful with tightening joints, and I mean, if that didn't prove it, well, it did. It did prove it. But man, if we would have quit at Superman, we would have had a pretty solid stream, huh? Like I said, though, you learn from your mistakes. I'm just like, it's not fun whenever that happens. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I just worked too long, and thank you guys for joining me on this wild Thursday. I felt a little more refreshed on a Thursday. I don't know if you guys, what do you guys think? You like Thursdays better? Mondays, Thursday? Seems to work out pretty well. I don't know who else is streaming on Thursdays. I don't keep up with all of that, so I don't know. Maybe Thursdays is a better way. That way I'm not coming off of it right on a weekday. But am I hopping on Tiny Ming anytime soon? I think I want to say Dave has me on at the end of the month. I think that's when our Fantastic 5 jumps on there. Pretty good. Yeah, you guys like Thursdays? Maybe we should move it to Thursdays. It's pretty nice, man. It's nice to come off the weekend and not have to worry about jumping into a stream right off the Monday. It's really, I like whatever works for you guys, man. I don't know, it's a good way to kick the weekend off. And then I'm also not, if Dave's going to be streaming at 8, you know, on Monday, I don't want to be stepping on his toes. So maybe this is the way to do it. Got a lot of Thursdays in here. I love that. Keep your eyes open for the new Patreon if you guys are interested in that. I think it's be really cool. Trying to step away from relying so much on YouTube. They just take, like, if people are gonna, I want to say somebody said they tipped me earlier, and I didn't, I actually didn't say anything about it. Aw, dude. Yeah, Hector freaking tipped me. That's what's up, man. That's what I'd rather want. If you guys are wanting to send, like, support my way, I want to make sure that I get it, that you guys are sending it to me. You're not paying YouTube. That's the problem that we run into here. I worked so hard. I was like, oh, we're going to get super chats. It'd be so cool just to have that ability, because people were like, that'd be fun to support. And I was like, sounds good to me. You know, lets me pay for materials and all sorts of cool stuff, like a new camera, which helps. I'd like to have a multiple camera angles so you guys can see every angle, swap around. Anyways, that's where that's coming from. Keep your eyes open for that. I know you guys that follow the Toy Mechanics stuff will be on the lookout for that, but just so you know. So yeah, maybe we'll move it to Thursdays now. Could be, that works for me. Hell, I think that's a lot easier, honestly. Cool. All right, well, that's going to wrap up tonight. Looks like we got a nice 2.5 hours tonight. I think that was pretty good. Hopefully we learned some things. Anakin is still pissed off at me, and I'm sorry, Annie. We'll figure it out. I promise. We'll get this thing fixed. Yeah, thank you guys so much for showing up. Sorry we didn't make Monday, but maybe this was all meant to happen anyways. I got a new camera. Maybe we got a new day. Crewmaru Thursday. Sounds good to me. Awesome. As always, I want to thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as you know, the impossible just takes a little